Okay, we're live. You can go ahead and start, Brittany.
Okay, so I suppose I have to call this meeting to order then at 4:04. Can I get, that's all I need to do, right? I call it to order, say what time it is, and then ask for a roll call? Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
So Vice Chair Kick,
Here.
Dr. Nairn,
Here.
we have a quorum.
Okay. So I think we go next here to reminding everybody that this meeting is open to the public. Can you go over the rules of participation for any public that may be here? Do we have any public here today?
We do not have anybody here in the public today. Basically, all the instructions are in our agenda. If there's callers, they would basically dial #6 to unmute and #9 to raise their hand. Nobody in the public, and we did not receive any public comments today.
Okay, and then so we'll go ahead and close out public comment options since there's nobody here. And then we're going to move on to approving the meeting minutes from February 23rd. Can I ask for a motion to approve those minutes?
I'll move approval of the minutes of February 23rd, 2021.
I will second that, I guess, since I'm the only one left. And so that's, do we need a roll call?
Yes, that's correct. Director Nairn?
Yes.
Vice Chair Kick?
Yes.
We've got a quorum. I mean, sorry. That's unanimously. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
Woo! Okay. And then we'll move on to the treasurer's report for February 2021. Is there a staff report?
Thank you, Vice Chair Kick. You're doing great so far. I'll be presenting this item on behalf of Tamara today. Included in your packet for the committee's review and approval is the treasurer's report for February 2021. February is the 8th month of the current fiscal year, so we should be at 2/3 or 67% or better on budgeted operating expenses. As of the end of February, the agency is at 54% overall. On the revenue side, we're at 70% of revenues budgeted, so we are continuing to experience a healthy cash flow. Details for the month's report are provided in the attachments included, and I'll be happy to take any questions you have. Otherwise, the recommendation is to refer the February 2021 Treasurer's Report to the Board of Directors for approval.
Okay, do I have a motion on the floor to, we have no public, because there's no public here, I don't need to ask for public comment for everything, correct?
You can ask for it and I can just come on if you want, but no, it's really not needed at this point. There's no
Okay.
here in the public.
Okay, just trying to follow the rules. All right, so there's no public, so we're gonna go ahead and close up public comment. Treasurer's report for February 2021. Is there any discussion on the item or can I take a motion?
Oh, I have a question.
Sure.
Or two maybe, and I apologize, but remember I'm almost as new to the board as Brittany. So I noticed the CalPERS payment, and that made me think and wonder if there had been any conversation about establishing a 115 pension trust.
That is not something I know about. I don't know if that's something you discussed at a past meeting with Tamara. It's not something I have info about now, but if you want to hold the approval of the report pending that, we can try to get info before the board meets on it.
No, I don't need to. I mean, the report looks really good. I just was curious if there had been any thought about the 115 trust. Maybe what I could do is ask under matters initiated, we could talk about that or just get an update or perspective on that at the next meeting. That's something I'm a big proponent of, let's just say, as a way to deal with the CalPERS situation. So with that, I will go ahead and recommend that the Finance and Administration Committee forward the February 2021 Treasurer's Report to the board for approval.
Okay, great. And I'll second that. Roll call, please.
Director Nairn,
Yes,
Vice Chair Kick,
Yes.
passes
Um,
unanimously.
Okay, and now we are on to a resolution in support of allocation request for 2021 funding through the State Low Carbon Transit Operations Program. Is there a staff report?
Yes, that one's mine again. And you'll notice my items always roll right off the tongue. So again, you're doing great. And thank you. This item is our annual board resolution for the state's Low Carbon Transit Operations Program, or LCTOP, which is required for LAFTA to be able to request these funds from Caltrans for eligible projects. Caltrans administers these funds in accordance with the requirements of the California Air Resources Board. And in order to be considered eligible, projects must demonstrate a net reduction in greenhouse gas emissions and identify benefits to priority populations identified in various state laws, including disadvantaged communities and/or low-income populations. While formula-based LCTOP revenues are available to LAFTA, while they vary year by year depending on the results of the state's cap and trade auctions, eligible projects generally include new or expanded transit service, projects that increase transit mode share, as well as the purchase of zero emission buses. And we've done all three different kinds of projects in the past. Agencies must also document that the proposed project will not supplant other sources of funding. Due to the ongoing impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic on the state's transit operators, late last year, Caltrans clarified that services cut due to the pandemic and subsequently restarted could qualify as new service under LCTOP guidelines. Staff is therefore recommending that LAFTA apply its FY 2021 LCTOP allocation to restarting service on school serving routes in Pleasanton and Dublin in the 2021-2022 school year, which ceased operating in March 2020 when schools closed for in-person instruction. Lower income students who qualify for free or reduced lunch in Pleasanton will ride for free via our Student Transit Pass program sponsored by the Alameda County Transportation Commission. And LAFTA will be looking to partner with Dublin schools to expand that program to qualifying Dublin students next school year as well. The total project budget is just under $417,000 and would include about $268,000 in LCTOP funding to be requested from Caltrans. So just to conclude, staff is recommending the committee approve Resolution 09-2021 in support of an allocation request to Caltrans for FY 2021 LCTOP funding to restart school serving routes in Dublin and Pleasanton. And with that, I will be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Is there any discussion on the item?
yes. So I have a question. So is the school buses to Dublin and Pleasanton are funded via this LCTOP grant or formula, and then the balance is made up by from revenues that the students pay to ride the buses? Is that?
So if you look at page 2 of the staff report, it shows that the budget does include about $140,000 in passenger fares. That is based on assumptions, not just of the average fare collected per trip, but how many rides we're expecting to offer next school year. And so because it's a little hard to forecast how and when and where ridership will return, our baseline assumption for this project is that ridership would be about 1/3 next school year of what we would have seen before the pandemic. And that's kind of to account for multiple factors like the need to provide for social distancing. There just may be some yet known reluctance of people to be riding the buses. We don't know if more parents will still be home telecommuting. So that was just an assumption we used. For the purposes of this program, I'm not sure that it is completely significant. I mean, in a lot of ways, the more people ride, the more carbon reduction we get to show. So there's not much of a penalty of getting more than 1/3. I'd be surprised if we got less.
So do you have any, it's probably too early, but any idea how many students are riding that are at least in Pleasanton now that the schools have been open?
I bet I don't want to put anyone else on the spot, but I'm guessing somebody does have the answer to that question.
Me.
There we go.
Hey, teacher, I raised my hand, call on me. We're carrying about 60 a day in Pleasanton thus far. And just by way of comparison, last year we averaged about 1,000 a day. So 6%-ish.
All right, well, based on the number of kids, students opting, as they call them, to be roomies, in other words, to go back to class,
Right.
that's not surprising.
Yeah, I think usually the first week is usually pretty slow for us because a lot of parents like to drive the students to school at least the first week, and it may pick up. I was at East Avenue today, and I think we had 7 students today, and I think yesterday we had 6 or 5. So, you know, that is a 40% increase in one day. So if that trend continues, we'll have to add more service.
Okay, so then I think it's safe to assume that this budget for the school buses is pretty conservative.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think that's based on the fall anticipated ridership.
Right.
And I think a lot could change between now and then. We're just trying to avoid making too many assumptions based on the last 12 months.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. Any other discussion on the item? I see Melissa's here. Okay. Can I take, oh, go ahead, Melissa.
Hi, I'll let you finish, Brittany. Thank you.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask for a motion on the item if there's no more discussion.
So I'll move that the Finance Committee refer resolution 09-2021 to the Board of Directors for approval, requesting the LC top allocation for fiscal year 2021 to restart school serving routes in fiscal year 21-22.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, great. Can I get a roll call?
Yeah, I just wanted to state on record that Melissa showed up at 4:13 p.m. during the meeting. Vice Chair Kick,
Yes.
Director Naran,
Yes.
Chair Hernandez,
Yes.
passes unanimously.
Okay, next up is item 7, extension of SAV operations and maintenance contract. Is there a staff report?
Yes, that's mine. So good afternoon. I'm here to request that the F&A committee for a recommendation to the board of directors to authorize the executive director to extend the agreement with Transdev for the O&M of the SAV project through July 31 of 2021. So just a brief background of the project. LAFTA entered into an agreement with Transdev back in 2019. The term of the agreement was from August 30th, 2019 to January 31st of 2021. However, due to the pandemic, combined with the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration putting a pause on all operation involving an easy mile vehicle, which is the one we have, several of our key project milestones were delayed. As a result, a contract extension is required in order for us to complete the original scope of the project. In terms of the financial impact, the total cost for the extension is roughly around $234,000. The amount, at least through June of this fiscal year, is included in the FY21 approved budget. And the total project is funded through an AQMD grant. So funding wise cover, budget wise cover. So the only thing we're asking for is just extend the term of the contract through July 31 of 2021. So with that, I'll be happy to answer any question you might have.
Okay, great. Are there any questions or discussion on the motion? I mean, on the item?
No, I'm happy to make a motion to forward the recommendation, or to forward to the Board of Directors to recommend authorizing the Executive Director to extend the agreement with Transdel for the operations and maintenance of the Shared Autonomous Vehicle Project through July 31st, 2021.
Okay, is there a second?
I will second.
Thank you. Can we get a roll call, please?
Vice Chair Kick,
Yes.
Director Nunn,
Yes.
Chair Hernandez,
Yes.
passes unanimously.
Okay, and item 8, preview of upcoming Finance and Administration Committee agenda items. Staff report?
I'll take this one. In your packet, you do have kind of what's coming up, including the budgeting process, which kicks off here in the next 60 days, and also your FTA triennial review, which is a big lift at the agency. It happens every 3 years, obviously, and is pretty intensive. But I will also make note of Director Naram's comments and desire to take a look at how we have analyzed in the past that CalPERS pension trust and bring that back at the next agenda. That was what was the title of the trust, Kathy? Can you remember? Was it 115? Is that what you used?
Yeah, they're referred to as 115 pension trusts. Pleasanton's got one.
Got it.
And there's a couple other agencies that have them as well now. I think Livermore might even have one, or at least was looking at it.
We might. I am not sure.
The reason, what caught my attention was the transfer of $5 million into LAIF. And our finance director came up with just, one of those aha ideas. And she pre-transfers in our CalPERS payments into the money market connected to the 115 trust, and then uses that money to pay our annual pension payments. And we're generating, obviously our pension is a lot larger, but we're generating significant interest off that money as compared to LAIF. I'm talking 6 figures. Again, we're much larger, where our pension is about 12 million, but it's just a thought, every little bit helps. And as long as you don't go crazy in the stock market with that gap or that holding, it seems pretty straightforward to generate a lot extra revenue. And so that's what made me think of it when I saw the $5 million going to LAIF.
Yeah, you know what? We'll take a look at it and we'll throw it on the next agenda. That's a fantastic idea.
I'm sure our finance director, Tina Olson, would be happy to discuss it with, anybody from your staff. She's the one that came up with this idea of using it like a money market to park the pension money, the pension payment money, and get that extra interest.
Got it. Great. Yeah, we'll take a look.
I would appreciate that, just taking a look at it.
Yeah, you bet.
Okay, great. And this is informational item, right?
Yep.
Okay. And then next was matters initiated, which I think kind of just got taken care of. Are there any other matters initiated from other committee members?
I have none.
Okay, neither do I. So we can move on from there. And I believe now I just let everybody know that our next meeting date is scheduled for April 27th, 2021. You can find information on the website about how to join us there. And then I can adjourn, correct?
Yes, thank you, Brittany.
All right.
Good job.
Meeting adjourned.
Yes, good job.
We had to
Brittany.
put her in the hot seat. She's our newbie, so you did great.
That's
Well,
great.
thank you. I'll talk to y'all later.
That's how we